Good morning, everybody. What's up? Doing an early morning edition of Tsunami Speaks. Since I didn't do my post game video on Monday like I planned to do, we got a lot to talk about with these New York Jets, and I want to get into it and try and bring some clarity, a little bit of post game therapy, if you will. So let's get into it and start the show. So, yet again, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 22 of Tsunami Speaks with your host, your girl, Tsunami Jones. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend if you can. That's how we'll continue to grow this channel going forward and keep making our headway towards 500 subscribers and beyond. If I look tired, I am tired, but I'm going to power through today. I got my morning coffee and I wanted to get one of these episodes out before I start work today. Work is a grind, and we got a lot of stuff going on over there, but y'all don't care about that. So, wow, 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 what a game that was. Before I wanted to go live and do the show with you guys, I wanted to watch the game a couple of times just to kind of process. You got the grieving process going on right now on Jets Twitter. Victory Monday was not a victory happy day. It was a sad day, but we haven't felt this feeling in a little while. And I think that's why it was more of a gut punch than it normally would have been. Um, the pain was definitely there, but after watching it a couple times and kind of getting a cooler head, watching Zach's stuff, watching the way our offense was flowing, there's still some good things that did happen on Sunday, and I want to talk about it today. First thing, one of my first observations, and I think I said this on Twitter as well, is that this game was a damn carbon copy of last year's New England game, the first New England game we played, not the blowout, the 25-26 loss that we had. And that was the game where it was still kind of close. I won't even say it first because that's not true. I went back to look at the play by play. That game was 25-6, and Zach had 4 interceptions. Um, the interceptions Zach had in that game were actually worse than this game. Go back and watch. Tell me what you see in your observations there, because we couldn't even get started. The first drive, he started off with an interception in that game. But the biggest difference that I noticed, besides the severity of the interceptions, was it felt like we lost by such a larger margin. There was really no hope. Again, we lost the game 25-6, but it never felt close. It never felt like we ever got started. And compared to Sunday's game, it felt like we were the better team. We did. And that's not me being a homer. I think anyone that was watching the team comparatively, looking at how our defense was playing during that game, we looked better. Um, so yes, Zach's turnovers played a huge role in this loss, but it wasn't the only contributing factor. So let's get started and dig into what happened. Let's revisit those keys to the win that I had set aside and see if we did those things. So starting there, one of my major keys was that we needed to limit turnovers, and I'm going to loop this one in with it and create turnovers. We did that. However, well, okay, we didn't limit them, okay, because Zach threw 3 interceptions. So that part didn't happen. We did create a turnover, and that was Michael Carter's interception that he got earlier on. I think it was in the second quarter as well. And we honestly would have had 2 turnovers. I'm with you guys. I'm just as angry as you guys about that roughing the passer call. Um, we would have had 2 turnovers, and that was a pick six, and it was a guarantee. It was a slam dunk. And if you actually rewatch, they waited a little while. Yet again, when they wait a while on these calls, I think it hurts so much more because you're like, oh, you know what, we got it. And spoiler alert, on my end, I I thought we were gonna pick six Mac Jones or Bailey Sharpie, and I'm not gonna stop calling him that. Screw that guy. Um, I thought we were gonna pick six the kid, and I thought we were gonna score points, and so I had a bet on that, and that would have made me a little bit of a wealthy woman. So I'm still salty that was like insult to freaking injury. The momentum swing that caused, and then of course the financial momentum swing into the. I feel like that snowballed my entire Sunday financially, but we'll move off of that. But we needed more turnovers than that. I don't blame the Jets defense because they were not put in situations where they could really pin their ears back and kill it. So problem there. The next key I had was that we needed to manage penalties. I know this is a touchy subject for all Jets fans, so I'm going to tread lightly here. This was actually one of our better days as far as penalties called against us when it comes to the yardage and the amount of penalties. I will put it that way. We had 4 penalties for 41 yards, and I believe the Patriots actually had 6 penalties. They had more penalties than we did. If I could find it very quickly, I'm going to do a quick check because I had both of those pulled up earlier, or rather last night when I was looking at all that fun stuff. Yeah, they had 6 for 54 yards. However, I'm with you guys. That roughing the passer call was everything. It was everything, and it hurt like hell. And I am so sorry we as a fan base had to deal with that. And of all teams for that to happen and go in favor of course, it's the damn Patriots, right? Of course, it's Bill Belichick getting to reap the rewards of that, and we're tired of that. And I'm with you. And that wasn't the only penalty that pissed me off, to be quite frank. The other one was the freaking. There was a couple. The CJ Mosley one where he hit Mac Jones when he was a runner. He didn't even give himself up. I don't even think he dove. He hit him, and they called roughing the passer on that. That was another BS freaking call. So I'm with y'all. That was ridiculous. I was pissed too. I didn't, and then with the first and McCourty interception because there's more than one. Yay, Zach! To me, it didn't look like he was in bounds, and even the announcer mentioned it when I watched the compressed replay of the game. He mentioned it, and they called that. So those are three that I really hated. Truthfully, the JFM one because he launched himself. Like if you rewatch it as many times as I did, like it looks like he rears back and jumps. Even though I heard what Salah said on Monday. Hold on just 1 second, guys. Don't want my computer to die while I'm going live with y'all, which would be very unfortunate. I don't think that'd be a great for the viewer, the viewer experience. You dig? All right. So we should be all set now. There we go. Nice and bright. So yeah. So for the viewer experience. So I was saying with because JFM launched his body is why we got gigged on that. But not to mention what Salah said in the interview is they said he hit Mac Jones too hard. I wish Salah didn't even mention that to us. I think as fans, like there's certain things you cannot tell us, even if it's something that happened and you're pissed too. Don't tell us that. Because of course that made everyone else more angry. I'll speak for me. It pissed me the hell off to hear that on Monday. Like the one thing, right? Like you don't want to hear the ref said some BS and that's why we lost the game, That wasn't the only reason, but those are obviously things that happened. The next key I had was for us to continue to stop the run. They had 127 rushing yards on 34 attempts. The yards per carry there are not very impressive. So if you look at it in that way, you're like, okay. But for me, I wanted us to be under 100. We needed to be under 100 early so we could keep the game close, so we can dominate that time of possession and all of those things there. We just didn't. Ramondre Stevenson had a game. Okay. He had a good game against us, and it hurt us for sure. Um, and then I think the reason why those yards per carry got as poor, so to speak, I think it was like 3.4 yards per carry, what it ended up becoming. It was because at the very end of the game, you guys know Belichick. He's not going to leave it in his young quarterback's hand to lose the game if he can help himself. So they just ran the crap out of the clock in the third and fourth quarter, specifically the fourth quarter. And so, of course, at that point, the Jets should be stopping the run. My goodness. So that's kind of what ended up happening there, and that's why the yards per carry were lower. If the game was different, I don't even know. My other key was that we needed to run the effing football, like first and foremost, and we didn't do that. We abandoned the run, in my opinion. We ran a little bit in the first half. 15 rushing attempts for 51 yards. Just hearing that, that's not enough. Not for this team. That's basically in this winning streak that we've had, it's because we've been running the hell out of the ball. Now, of course, I'm not going to lie, losing Brees hurt. That's why I'm wearing my Brees jersey today to make myself feel better. I miss my guy. I miss my guy so much. Brees was the heartbeat of this team. He was the thunder and the lightning. Okay. Even though Michael Carter was awesome too. We miss him. Um, and right now, James Robinson wasn't totally in sync with the offense. I don't think he had any synergy or chemistry yet with Zach. That should get better as the season goes on. Remember, we made that trade um, in the middle of the week. I believe it was Monday or Tuesday. We don't practice until Wednesday. So I think we didn't plan for him to have very many snaps, kind of similar to the way the 49ers did Christian McCaffrey the first week. They kind of utilized him in specific plays. They said, this is your package. This is what we're going to do. And that was it, right? Now, Shanahan's a better offensive coordinator than Michael LaFleur. Straight like that, right? He may be a better offensive coordinator. He's also more seasoned. He's seen more types of bets. He's done mid-season trades before. I think he has that understanding and that just that experience that he can rely upon. So those are some things I would kind of keep into aspect with that. But again, even with that, I want to use Michael Carter then. Don't use Ty Johnson. You'll more on that later. But shoot, I would have sat Ty Johnson's behind. I knew we were going to do it. I said in my last video that we're going to use more of him in this game because we didn't have Brees. But Ty Johnson doesn't do it for me. But okay, so again, I'm already ranting about him, and I'm not even at the part where I wanted to. So moving on, my main takeaway there is, run the ball more than that. I don't care if we're behind, at least 20 times, just to keep the defense guessing. I know we were behind, but in the third quarter, we really could have ran more. There are reasons. Obviously, I know the interceptions played a big role in that. But maybe we run before we run more in those drives earlier on, because they weren't all like first drive interceptions. So, or sorry, first and 10 interceptions. They weren't necessarily that. I only believe one was. Anyway, the next key I had was that we needed to score when we were in the red zone, and that would be huge for us because the Patriots are a very good team at holding red zone possessions to kicks. So we actually converted in the red zone twice out of the 3 trips that we had. So that's one positive you can kind of take away from that. We actually did well there. Zach threw 2 touchdowns. Those are his first passing touchdowns of the season, which is amazing when you think about it. So those were his first 2. And so we kind of got that. We did well there, especially considering how good the Patriots are in that spot. The problem, we just couldn't get to the red zone. Big problem. We got to get there. But at least we did well when we were there. And we didn't necessarily run those in. Like, we didn't try to run those in with James Robinson, which is, I was positive we were going to do, by the way. So positive. And that did not happen. So the next key I had was that the defense needed to get to the quarterback. We did. Good job, Jets. I mean, if there's one takeaway that we can have in this game is our defense is still badass, okay? We did quite well. We got to the quarterback 6 times. We sacked him. We brought him on his knees 6 times. Mac Jones was vulnerable back there. We kept sitting him on his behind, and I loved it. God, I wish we could have sacked him 8, 10 times. His face, all the Patriots' faces, they all need to be hit more and more. So Mac and Cheese was on the ground. Our defense played fantastic on Sunday. And for that, I give them a lot of credit, especially when you see that the offense isn't clicking. Special teams wasn't clicking. I'm going to get to that in a minute. They did what they needed to do in situations where it was not in their favor. But I will say, going into this game, if you told me that we sacked Mac Jones 6 times and we still lost, I wouldn't believe you. So we did what I thought we needed to do there, but it didn't happen. This is probably the biggest key that people aren't talking about enough. And I guess once I get to the Zach Wilson component of this video, you're going to hear me go more in depth about this because it's a big factor. I don't care who I'm talking to here. The offensive line needed to hold up for Zach. It didn't happen. Zach, so when you look at the raw numbers, you'll see, okay, they only gave up 2 sacks. That's pretty regular in the NFL. Normally, quarterbacks get sacked once or twice. But he was pressured, and depending on which analytics site you subscribe to, are you PFF? Are you Football Outsiders? Are you there's a lot of them. I only look at a few. I know there's True Media and all that. Everything you had to pay for. That's what I know. But depending on what you use, he was pressured 13 times or 16 times. PFF had 13. That's what I have a subscription to at this moment. So that was a big deal. Now, if you watch this game and you watch it from cover to cover, so to speak, Zach was running all day long. One other way you could look at it is if Zach gives up a few more sacks, are we still in this game? If we go 4 sacks instead of 2, how does that impact it? I'm going to leave you guys to be the judge there. But we needed to protect him. We needed him to be comfortable because Zach's numbers when he's protected are fantastic. I think that needs to be considered more. Last key that I had, and then we'll go into the player spotlights that I had, the players that I had that I wanted us to watch and pay attention to, was our special teams performance. This was a day we weren't the better team on special teams. And I think that was a major key that hurt us. We missed a kick from Big Z at a manageable position. There may have been a roughing the kicker call that wasn't called there. So again, to those who are talking about the penalties and their anger towards that, I'm with you. I'm with you. Because that was an impact. What's up? What's up, J Tap? My bad, I didn't see your comment earlier. Oh, it was only a minute. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. We in here talking about these New York Jets, man. I wanted to give us a day to mourn and move on because we got a whole nother season. We got plenty of games to go to next. But that last piece, again, was with the great special teams performance that we did not have. Big Z missed the kick. Braden had some bad punts in there, and I've been singing Braden's praises for the majority of this season. So I'm going to take my shot here. Braden didn't have a good game. So much for AFC Player of the Week. He's not going to get that. I'm sorry, for the Special Teams Player of the Week, but it is what it is. He shanked them. This is just the team you don't do that to. The Patriots have traditionally been a great special teams team. That is like one of their breads and butters. I don't know who the coach is of that. I know that used to be Joe Judge's thing, and now Joe Judge is helping on the offense. You got Matt Patricia on the offense. I don't know who does what, but they have a great special teams unit. So again, with Braden having shanked those punts, that made shorter fields for the New England Patriots. They don't need that. They don't need that. It put our defense in awful situations. And then they had some good returns as well. And then not only did they have good returns, Braxton had an opportunity where I thought he was going to break one, completely change the momentum of the game, right? And he got hit. Their special teams unit was ready for us. They were prepared. I hope next week we kind of rebound from this because we got to do better than that. I mean, if we're going to be the playoff team that we aspire to be, all 3 units have to be killing it. Not just offense, not just defense. Special teams is a big deal, okay? Those are the momentum killers that are so important in this in football in general. All right, so let's move on real quick to the players I had to watch. I thought would be important. I'm moving Zach to last in case y'all are wondering here. All right, Braxton Berrios. I said I thought he would have a good game, and I was wrong, dude. Or not just dude, but guys, everybody. Goose egg. My guy did nothing. I was way wrong. We didn't use any reverses with him. We didn't do any end arounds. We didn't do anything. No Wildcat. Not that I like the Wildcat, you, but nothing. We didn't use Braxton Berrios the way I expected him to, and that was one of my keys from. Well, not just my keys, but I expected that because again, that's what the Patriots had struggled with against against the Bears. So I thought we were going to at least try to utilize some of the things that gave the Patriots trouble. Isn't that what you were supposed to do? What the hell was that? So I was bothered by that. And then the one throw that we did do to Braxton Berrios, I will put this on Zach, was a bad throw to him. It was not a good one at all. So yeah, mostly I'm gonna put that all on Mike LaFleur there. That was a blown opportunity that we could have used. Sauce Gardner was someone else I expected to have a great game. He was targeted 4 times. He had 3 catches, allowed 1 yard, just one. He had 2 tackles for a loss. One of them was awesome. It was a hell of a play. It was again, I think they did a screen pass. Mac Jones did a screen pass to either Ramondre or Damian Harris. Don't ask me which one. It was one of those cats, man. Man, it was just textbook. It was beautiful. Some people coming into the draft were saying Sauce wasn't a good tackler. I've seen it in plays where he kind of goes soft on tackles. He didn't there. That was awesome. Again, against a running back too. It's different when you're tackling a corner or a wide receiver, excuse me. So that was the thing of beauty. I wanted to highlight that real quick. But that aside, Mac Jones and Bill Belichick made sure not to challenge Sauce much. Other people have been doing that. Other quarterbacks, other head coaches, other offensive coordinators have been, trying to challenge Sauce, and they've been seeing week by week, Sauce is that guy. That Sauce is that dude. Like he's him, to use the term, right? So they didn't use him. They didn't go after him much. That touchdown, by the way, that PFF and all the other analytics sites are putting on him, that wasn't his fault. There was offensive pass interference. One, two, he just happened to be somewhat the nearest defender. Joyner missed an opportunity as the safety to tackle there. I hate that Sauce got tagged with that, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not who cares, right? It is what it is. It didn't change I don't think that touchdown completely changes the game. The defense, I think, was put in a bad situation on that drive as well. So let's keep it rocking here. Quinnen Williams was another guy I thought was going to have a big game. It wasn't the 3-sack game that I was hoping for, but he played well. He had a sack, a hurry, a QB hit, and 2 tackles. He graded out as 89.7 on PFF for his pass rushing score. Quinnen keeps putting in games. I know this wasn't a big numbers game, but he played well. They had a solid plan, though. I'm going to give the Patriots some credit there as far as trying to take him somewhat out of the game. He was still disruptive, but not as disruptive as we really needed him to be for us to win. All right. That's what I got about Quinnen. I'm going to go ahead and launch into Zach Wilson. And Jay, if you're still in the chat, let me know what you think as well here, because I know a lot of people are fired up about Zach right now. A lot of them. Let's go with the numbers. He finished the game 20 of 41 for 49% completion percentage, 355 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. One of the gripes that Zach detractors had the last few weeks was that the Jets offense wasn't allowing him to throw the ball. And they said he was being a game manager, and we don't need a number 2 overall pick to be a game manager. I saw that on Twitter for weeks and weeks and weeks. We were winning. So as far as I was concerned, I didn't care. Let him be a game manager versus the teams that have stout defenses with great corners that can make plays. Against the Denvers of the world, against Miami, who does have a good secondary when healthy. The Packers, teams like that. But in this game, the Patriots still have a good defense, and we decided we're going to unleash them a bit here. I don't want to assume that the team pays but so much attention to us as a fan base, but I wonder, especially with what I was saying earlier about Braxton Berrios not being used the way I expected him to be used. This is the most passing attempts he had coming into this game, because the Pittsburgh game, he had 36. So 41 is a lot for him. So just kind of unraveling everything, giving you what the layers I looked at and considered here. There were 13 total pressures. 10 came from his starting tackles. Dwayne Brown, left tackle, need him to be awesome. He was not awesome. This is the second week in a row where he played less than. That impacts things. That's his blind side. Cedric, insert last name here. I forgot already. Ogabui or Ogbui, something like that. He had 5 pressures given up from him. I am not absolving Zach. I'm just saying what I'm seeing here. The first half of this game, he actually looked good. There were people on social media as well as the fans saying, "Wow, Zach looks good this first half." We were actually really excited. I was hyped because I'm like, he's. I was saying to myself, he's seen the light. He's out of this foolishness. We're done with the stupid interceptions. Not that he even throws so much last year. He had, I know Trevor Lawrence finished with way more interceptions than him. I don't remember where he finished, so I can look that up in a bit. But he wasn't an interception machine the second half of the season when he played the last 6 games. Remember, he had no one to throw to back then, blah, 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 blah. All right, I'm ranting. But the first turnover he had probably pissed me off more than anything else. The other two actually didn't bother me nearly as much. One, because the momentum from that interception was ridiculous. Also, he was throwing to Ty Johnson, who now I will unleash against. What the hell, man? Every time he throws to Ty Johnson, something bad happens. You remember when he played against them in not played against them. Do you remember when we played Houston last year? We threw to Ty Johnson and it caused an interception. Ty Johnson's hands are not reliable. That's one. Two, you have everybody else to throw to. Like if he was throwing to Michael Carter, I bet you it wouldn't have been like that. I don't think he has any chemistry with Ty Johnson. He doesn't know where to be or anything of that nature. So I was just pissed anyway. They was throwing over there. I don't want Ty Johnson on this team. Again, that's still Zach's fault that he threw that pass because I knew he wasn't gonna catch it. It was poorly thrown. His mechanics were off. All of those things happened in that game. The other two, it still looked like he was trying to throw out of bounds, but the air got under. But like he threw them so poorly out of bounds. Again, with bad mechanics there, all that stuff, that they didn't bother me quite as much. It was the timing of them that hurt. They were early in those drives. God knows if we keep those drives going, what happens. Garrett Wilson was having a game. More touches for Garrett Wilson would have been needed, and we might have been able to win it even with like that first interception. But that first one was just different. I believe right after that, they went downfield and they scored points. It hurt. That's really the easiest way to say it. But here's my question, and I will ask this to any fan specifically. Before I even go there, let me see what Jay has to say. Thank you. That's what I was saying. What was wrong with him doing that? Especially against great defenses. You know what I mean? Like, if we would have had Mac Jones last year, again, right? But if we would have had Mac Jones last year, who was obviously a game managing quarterback, we would have won more games, right? Would the Jets fans or just people in the media would have loved him then? Or we would have not liked him if we had drafted Mac Jones at number 2. You know what the answer is. We wouldn't have been happy with it. It's just ridiculous logic to me. Like, don't we want to just win? I think the way the Jets wanted to use Zach Wilson in this game, or just this season until he kept building up, getting better, was we wanted to use him as a Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is a game managing quarterback, right? Zach has a better arm than him. Zach has more athleticism than him. But ultimately, he wins games because he puts the ball in his playmakers' hands. Obviously, like Deebo Samuel. The Niners run the hell out of the ball. Basically, we are the Niners. That's what we were trying to emulate, is their formula. And yet, we decided to take not just the training wheels off. We decided to say, okay, Zach, go win it. Go win it. We don't have Brees now. Interesting game plan, Michael Floor. Interesting game plan. But the other question I had was, and I'm just thinking, I'm speaking out loud, yelling into the void. I got Jay with me here, but anyone else, even after this video is posted, of course. If Zach doesn't throw those last 2 interceptions and they are all the way out of bounds, which is clearly what he was trying to do, or he takes sacks there, Do we win this game? Do we still feel let's take the do we win this game out of it. Do we still feel the same way about Zach? I don't think so. I think then we're excited and we're happy. It's because Zach threw two stupid three, but but the last two interceptions he just threw them on the way out of bounds. Again, terrible footwork, just airmailing that crap. If he doesn't throw those two and he just goes 3 and out in those drives, are we still angry? Do we still feel the same way? I don't think that the fan base would. I think the fan base is mad he threw those interceptions and that's it. Whereas this is the first game we ever seen Zach have 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Again, I know I'm nitpicking here, but I think the fan base is nitpicking just a little bit here on Zach. It is technically this was his 17th game, right? I think his 17th or 18th game total. And we have decided we're done with this kid. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I do think that he had some terrible plays in that game, but he is not the entire reason we lost. The Patriots have had our numbers for years. The Patriots slash Bill Belichick kills young quarterbacks every year. The first quarterback that he's had no trouble with was obviously last week with Justin Fields, in which it was a running quarterback, and Belichick has troubles with running quarterbacks. It happens all the time. That's like the one weakness that Bill Belichick had. Jimmy G does win. You're right. But wasn't Zach winning? 4-1. He was 4-0 when we were doing the game managing deal. So we were playing him. We were playing Zach the way we were playing Jimmy G, or the way Jimmy G plays. I don't know. I think we look at the number 2 overall pick part and put too much stock in that. We could have just let the kid grow organically. Same way. But that's just my opinion. But I'm definitely willing to listen to other people's opinion. I'm glad we can have the discussion after after the anger wears off just a little bit, just a tad. That's just my opinion though. Real quick, so I'll jump off my concern about Zach Wilson. I'll probably rant, and I have to get off of here before 8:50, ideally, so I can get to work. Let's see. Going to Ramondre, all right, not just him, but the Patriots players who played well. I'm not going to spend much time on them because screw them. Ramondre Stevenson killed us. He had 7 catches for 72 yards receiving, 16 carries for 71 yards rushing. He killed us. He killed us. He shot us with a freaking shotgun. And that is the reason they won yesterday or Sunday. It was because of Ramondre Stevenson. Because it wasn't Mac Jones. Mac Jones did not look great in that game. He had one good drive. The other ones was just basically Ramondre Stevenson keeping them alive and then some ill-timed penalties. So that's just my opinion there, but he looked good. He's been having a good season all year, so not really shocking. Hunter Henry, I thought was going to hurt us. He only had 1 target, 1 catch for 22 yards. Jonnu Smith actually was targeted more. He had 4 targets and 3 catches, but for 10 yards. One of those was a tackle for a loss that the Jets did. I think that was another one that was sauce. Don't hold me to that. Matt Judon played well. He had no sacks, but he had 7 hurries. He got in Zach's face a few times, and he batted a pass at the line of scrimmage. He was impactful, regardless of the lack of sacks there. And I hate that dude, too, because he's the one who hurt us. Wow. Oh, my God. Porn bots? Is that what we got going on in here? Dude, I can't believe I'm at this point now. Okay. Blocked. Ah, okay, Jay. I didn't know that. Let me put this up on the screen. Giants fan. You know what? I'm weak. I'll read it out loud. I'm sorry. That's funny. You're a Giants fan, you haven't seen too much. I've only seen clips between DJ and RJ. I'm too stressed. I feel that right now. As a Knicks fan, obviously, I've been thinking the same thing. I really have. It's like we got RJ struggling. Daniel Jones struggled for his first 3 seasons, right? This is season 4 for him, if I recall correctly. Even though he's putting it together now because he's got a coach that understands him. But I know you are on the edge of your seat every game, right? Same, man. Wasn't it a rough Sunday, by the way? Wasn't it rough as hell? Everybody lost. And it felt like the Yankees lost twice. It was awful. I think that's why everybody's so bad. But yeah, we got all our young players and all that, man. They just struggling along, all of them. But at least I'll say this, Jay. Your Giants still have y'all are still fun to watch and have a bright future. Wide receiver is like the easiest thing to resolve. Good luck to you guys maybe getting a wide receiver today at the trade deadline. Maybe the Jets make a trade with y'all and give y'all Elijah Moore. I don't think that's what's gonna happen. As a side note, I think we're just gonna keep Elijah Moore here and unhappy and let him just cry to himself. I'm still laughing at that comment though. It's a struggle. All our youth, man. All our youth is a struggler right now. All right. Well, as far as the game ball and unsung heroes that I like to do, how am I gonna give a game ball when we lost the game, right? How am I gonna do it? So I'm not gonna do like an official game ball here. But if I had to give it to somebody, I would give it to our defense as a whole. So that's your Quinnens, your Carl Lawsons, your Sauce Gardners, your DJ Reeds, who makes a play every game. Go DJ. That's my DJ Reed. I love him. So I would give it to the entire defense there because they did very well considering the circumstances. Again, being backed up in their own end zone, damn near like from the second half on, they were like at the 50 between their special teams and our offense just throwing the ball away or throwing the ball to the other team. So credit to them for only holding them to 22. But my honorable mention, and I got to talk about my guy, would be Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson, okay? We finally started targeting him again, and we actually made a game plan around him. So I guess that's why we didn't go Braxton Berrios too much. We decided to go Garrett Wilson here, which I had no problem with. It was fun to watch that kid boogie, that 50-yard dime piece that Zach threw to him, that double move that Garrett Wilson did. I love him. I love him. I love him. The Garrett Wilson is so fun to watch. He's electric with the ball in his hands. I saw we did a little pitch play to him at one point in the game, and he I believe he got like a first down on it. That was fun. So I'm hoping that we keep utilizing him, especially without Corey Davis here. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to say about Zach. Sorry. So I'm gonna come back to that. Um, but yeah, to give the full stats here for Garrett Wilson, he had 6 catches for 115 yards on 7 targets. Feed him, please, Mike LaFleur. Please, Zach Wilson. I don't care how Elijah Moore feels about it. Throw the ball to him. If we're gonna throw interceptions, Zach, throw it in Garrett Wilson's direction, please. I want to see what he does with the football. Oh my God. I feel like he could have went off for 200 yards if we had our quarterbacking together. So that's just my opinion there. But Garrett Wilson was just fun, and I can't wait to see what he does for the rest of the season. And now that we don't have Brees, maybe we're gonna feed the playmakers that we know can make big plays at big times. He needs more targets. Period. And then just one last thing about Zach, and I promise I'm closing the door back on it. Is that Garrett Wilson, not Garrett Wilson, Zach lost Brees Hall and AVT last week. This is not in defense specifically of Zach. I'm saying as an offensive unit. To lose those two the week before we played the Patriots, I think was more catastrophic than any of us expected. I know there was a couple Jets fans who were freaked the hell out about it. I was optimistic because I'm naturally optimistic when it comes to my sports teams. Why? Because we're also naturally pessimistic, I don't want to be. I choose to see the optimism every week when it comes to football and the New York Knicks. I'm going to try to, unless I just keep getting smacked with losses all in my face, which the Knicks do, which the Jets have done. So it happens. But losing your best offensive lineman, the MVP of the team on the offensive line, I think might have been just a morale killer for the team. Not necessarily for Zach, but I'm saying just like for the offensive line as a whole. So I really think it protects Zach. We don't see games like that. Also, have we seen Zach play this badly this year? As far as like the interceptions and all of that? No, we haven't seen that. This is not like he's been doing this every game. People are saying he's an interception machine. Is he? Is he? I don't think so. I haven't seen that. It remains to be seen. This is 4 interceptions now in 5 games. Sorry, 5 interceptions in 5 games because he had 2 against the Steelers and 3 on Sunday. Trevor Lawrence is worse. And also, I'll pause real quick with in regards to just Trevor Lawrence. People were saying Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be, this game-breaking generational talent at quarterback, and I still think he has the capabilities of doing those things. I'm not poo-pooing him. But that whole entire class, quarterback class, is not playing exceptionally well. Fields has had 2 good games in a row, and people are right back on the Fields train. Fields was terrible to start off the year. People were laughing at him. I know because as Jets fans, I saw some of them laughing like, ha, see, y'all wanted him. So now that Fields has 2 games in a row, now Jets fans are like, oh, shoot, we should have had Justin Fields. Y'all were waiting. Not just every Jets fan, but I seen a lot of them, man. A lot of cats out here were waiting for Zach's downfall so they could come out and read these receipts. I told you we should have got this cat. I told you should have got that cat. Mac Jones is better than Zach Wilson. Is he? Didn't he get sat for Bailey Sharpie? Didn't he? Didn't he get embarrassed in that Bears game the week before? Just saying. Davis Mills. He's looked bad. No, he doesn't have a lot of wide receivers over there. But he still looked bad though. Trevor Lawrence looked terrible on Sunday morning against the who they lose to? The Broncos, right? Oh, but it's okay when he has a bad game against the Broncos because his name ain't Zach Wilson. We got to keep a spade a spade. Everybody looks bad this year. We don't need to throw Zach Wilson away. Let him play out the rest of the effing season. Mike White? Mike White had 1 good game. 1. He played awful against the Bills the following week. You talking about turnover prone? First of all, he had 2 turnovers in that game against the Bengals, and even though he looked really well in that week, uh, most of his touchdowns were, or not just his touchdowns, but most of his passes were thrown to Michael Carter. Like he threw to his running back 9 times in that game. Now, again, we won, and it was a big deal, and I'm happy about that. We beat them. Then the following week, he had 3 more interceptions. Relax. Everybody needs to relax. Let's let Zach play out the rest of the season. If y'all want to, throw him away, then go for it. But we got plenty more time with this kid. This kid played for BYU. He was going to be a project coming into it, playing for the biggest national media market in the United States, in the world. And he is being killed and raked over coals because people couldn't wait to. They were waiting for his downfall so they could, pound their chest and say, "My guy's better." There are plenty of quarterbacks who are looking good now that they're getting a second chance, or their team stayed with him. Geno Smith. I hate to say it, but Geno looks good. Daniel Jones looks good because he got a quarterback coach who understands him and coached out the foolishness. Okay. Well, New York Jets, get your guy to coach out the foolishness. I'm not saying fire Salah. I'm a big Salah fan. But whoever your guru is, send him over there. Do something. Don't kill him the first time of and I agree, Jay. Did I name them all? I think I might have missed somebody else in that class. I said Davis Mills, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. Oh, and Macaroni and Cheese Jones. That kid. Okay. Zach was the wrong pick. Oh no. Okay. Who would you have gotten? And one more thing. See, I'm ranting now still about this. So the last thing with Justin Fields. Y'all think Justin Fields would have been necessarily better in this media market? Because he said some things that Bears fans didn't care about or didn't care for, but they weren't blown out of proportion like it would have been here. The Bears lost the game, and he was like, "Man, the fans don't really get it. They're not the ones playing football. It hurts us more than it hurts them, you know? Fans don't get it. Fans don't get it. You say that in New York, what happens to you? I'll wait. I would have booed that boy out of town. Booed him, killed him, all that. Let's see what Zach does for the rest of the season. I won't be just like Salah and say I'll be holding my receipts and all that, but I'll be waiting to see. Teams that have all their offensive linemen hurt don't play well. Quarterbacks that have offensive linemen that are this banged up don't play well. It's how it works. Justin Herbert has not played well when his offensive linemen all went down. This is just how it is. We gotta tread water. We gotta tread water. And the good news is, after the bye week, after we play the Bills. By the way, I placed a small wager on the Jets to beat the Bills. I think this is the perfect time for us to play them because we're wounded like hell and we're gonna come out angry. But that's a spoiler alert for the next video. I know y'all probably not gonna make it to then because I've been so on Zach. So if you do watch the next one, I will talk about that in that next game. I'm gonna finish this up real quick, guys. The last thing that we had in here was the results of my parlays place. I'm gonna make this part very fast. I didn't hit one bet. Not one. I took the Jets at 2.5. Didn't happen. And the money line. Took the Giants +3. They hurt me too. I'm mad. I'm still mad. Dad, I'm mad at y'all's team. Jay, I'm mad at your team for that. Jarrell, I'm mad at your team. All y'all Giants fans, I am very mad at y'all for that. DK Metcalf ended up playing that game. I thought he was ruled out, so that pissed me off a bit. Did not know. Anyway, he played and they won. Gino's playing with a chip on his shoulder and he coming for blood. Everybody's team gonna get some. The Jets play the Seahawks later on this year. That's gonna be a much bigger game than we thought it was gonna be earlier on. I took the Jaguars -2.5. Didn't hit that. That's why I'm mad at Trevor Lawrence. If you want to know, we beefing. Oh, and that interception he threw at the goal line. Did Zach do that? That killed points right there. But I'll just be a Zach apologist. It's fine. All right. So that was pretty much as far as my gambling. I already mentioned earlier the defense scoring a touchdown. That didn't hit that either. James Robinson getting a touchdown. I ain't hit that. So just a really rough day. I lost like over $100. And for me, I don't bet like that much money. I was just feeling myself. So going back in my hidey hole as far as the gambling goes. But either way, guys, Jets are going to lose games. This is what happens in the NFL. I think we're going to rebound later, but we'll see. Much more of the season to go on. We got a lot of fun stuff that'll be coming up soon. So I am still looking forward to our future and what ends up happening today on trade deadline day. Maybe the Jets make a trade. Maybe your Giants make a trade, Jay. We'll see what ends up happening. But I'll make a video later on and we'll discuss it, especially if the Jets make a huge trade. I haven't really been doing any breaking news videos, but if we make a trade and we get a offensive lineman, I will come out of hiding and I will do a quick video. But all in all, thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate you, Jay. I am wrapping this video up because I got 5 minutes before work. Good thing I work from home. All right. So anyway, appreciate y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend if you can, all that good stuff. Retweet it when I tweet it. I will tweet this video out as soon as I am done. But again, young season, we are on to Buffalo. And guys, we can beat them. Any team can be beat. What did Bart Scott tell us? What did LaDainian Tomlinson tell us? Anybody can be beat. Jets better game plan their behinds off. Let's go. That said, again, thanks for watching, guys. Y'all have a great night and let's go, Jets.